Rambo was everywhere around the world. The film broke box office records. Interest in the character was such that my novelization was not only a New York Times bestseller, but was even serialized in newspapers such as the New York Post and the Boston Herald. Carolco Pictures immediately began plans for a third film. In a rare decision, they hired me to write the screenplay. I had nothing to do with the second film. Authors of source material are almost never consulted. For 2 days I met with Andrew Vajna and Mario Casar, Carolco's co-owners, along with their production supervisor, Buzz Feischens. They had specific ideas about the concept, which they wanted to be about hostages, and the setting, which they wanted to be Central America, an unstable region back then. I suggested plot details, and this is the story we agreed on. Colonel Trautman is assigned to give military advice to a Latin American country that is friendly to the United States, but is threatened by revolutionaries. Because things are calm for the moment, Trautman's wife and daughter accompany him, with assurances from the American embassy that they'll be safely escorted to various tourist locations. Rebels take over the embassy, however. Trautman's wife and daughter are held captive, while Trautman is wounded in an attempt to stop the takeover. Cut to Rambo in the United States, where he's on top of a dizzyingly tall building that's under construction. In Rambo First Blood Part 2, the screenwriters decided that Rambo was part Native American. My novel First Blood does not suggest this. Some Native Americans are known for their skill at retaining their balance at great heights, and as a result, they're valued as workers on tall construction projects. I thought that this would be an interesting way to introduce the character, at the top of an immense city, surveying the horizon, amid the solitude he craves. But after Rambo descends to the ground, he hears a news report about the embassy takeover and learns that Trautman's wife and daughter are among the hostages. The key to Rambo's character is that he hates what he is, and the violence of which he is capable. Nothing can make him take up arms again, except loyalty to the man he thinks of as his father. In my novel First Blood, we learned that Rambo's biological father beat his mother. In my novelization for the second film, I added the details that after his mother died, Rambo joined the army, volunteered for special forces, and attracted Trautman's attention. Rambo and he developed an extremely complex relationship. Trautman is the father he wishes he had. The script then dramatized Rambo's determination to rescue Trautman's family. After the rebels transfer the hostages from the embassy to their base in the jungle, there's a dramatic scene in an eerie Mayan ruin, as well as an intense action sequence in which Rambo overcomes rugged chasms and raging rivers as he chases the rebels. For me, the main point of the script occurred in the climactic rescue when Trautman's wife shows that she is indeed the wife of a Special Forces colonel. Trautman taught her how to use automatic weapons, and in one scene, she and Rambo stand side by side, firing at the enemy while explosions roar near them. The rebels threatened her daughter, and by God, she wants to get even. This was an unfamiliar concept in early 1986. True, 7 years previously, Ridley Scott's Alien featured Sigourney Weaver in a strong female action role. But that was an exception. James Cameron's Aliens and Terminator 2 had not yet appeared, with heroines who demonstrated even stronger action skills. When the Rambo producers read my script, they had major doubts about showing a woman with a submachine gun. In particular, they worried about how the film would be received in Asian countries, where women have a traditional subservient role. Having delivered the script, I returned to a novel in progress, The League of Night and Fog. Time passed. A lot of it. Writers are at the bottom of a studio's need-to-be-informed list, so I didn't think it was unusual not to receive messages from Carolco. Finally, a year later, in 1987, I heard that Rambo III would soon begin filming. Excellent, I thought. One detail did puzzle me, though. The producers had planned to shoot my script in Jamaica, using it as a double for the volatile Central American country. But the announced location was now Israel. Strange, I thought. Israel doesn't have a jungle. But it does have deserts and mountains that would double for the landscape of Afghanistan, which I was surprised to learn was the subject of the new film. My surprise was tempered by the understanding that it's common practice for a studio to have different stories in development at the same time. Just because Carolco had hired me to write a script, that didn't mean other writers hadn't been hired to write scripts also. One of those, it turned out, was co-written by the film's star, Sylvester Stallone. When I asked the producers what was going on, they explained that they now felt a desert picture would provide variety after the forest and jungle in the first two films. Afghanistan was a major war zone where invading Soviets had battled rebel tribesmen for several years, with considerable media coverage as well.